Miles, what is happening? What what is happening?
What is happen?
What is
It's
happening?
Friday, Brian. It's Friday,
Gotta get down on Friday.
uh, something weekend. I don't remember the words. It was a long time ago.
I actually just watched a whole video about her.
Well, I mean, she still does music now, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But man, like the abuse she took for that.
Oh God, I was going to say
for that one song.
we often forget how young these kids are, man, and like just to even be exposed to that many people with all that judgment, and it was just one of these things that her parents like signed up for us to do a music video, which is like a kid's dream. Which is like, yeah, let's keep that as a in the family thing, and it's like let's put it online. Oh, now the whole world knows.
Right.
That's wild.
Right. Yeah, they didn't think anybody was going to see it, and then next thing you know, everyone has seen it, and it's the most disliked video on YouTube. And the thing is like, you know, what I don't like about watching this kind of stuff is that people are always like, oh, we shouldn't have been so mean to her, right? And so did you learn that lesson, and did you stop being mean to people you don't know anything about online? My guess, Miles, is probably fucking not.
Exactly. I still be mean. I still be mean to people. It makes us stronger.
Perfect.
That's the moral of the story. Happy Friday, everyone.
Yeah, let's go, man. That was about the best intro we were going to get. Unless anybody's down for us to try that again, we could try it again. No,
it's a good start of a good moral of the week.
Good. Let's go. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Two Wise Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live. There he is, 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. We also care about your oral pleasure. That's why we put this thing up on podcast services of your choice. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here without Pearl. And this gentleman over here to my left, to your right, it is Miles Dyer from youtube.com/Miles.
Oh, you were nicer to me this week. You weren't doing the means. You did learn. That was nice. I appreciate that.
I was trying to take my own advice from before the show. It's like, stop being fucking mean. Yeah.
Brian Paul.
See,
hey Brian,
like that.
How you game? How you game, cats? What a week, man! New game from NDREAMS.
Oh,
it finally happened.
Is that
how long has it been since the last? When did this Synapse come out? It was 2 years ago.
Been a while.
The launch date for that was July 2023.
Sure.
And then Frenzies would have been, I guess, summer of last year. And I don't know about you, Brian. I'm actually still gutted we still didn't get Frenzies. I know some people weren't that like ecstatic about it. I was actually really excited to have a social multiplayer game with the fighting mechanics of Synapse.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I thought it looked fun. I thought it looked playful. I liked the character models, how they're all wearing like pajama type things with hoodies. I was like, that's kind of cute. I could get into that. But honestly, man, like I think I think I would have wanted just them to start porting some games over, right? I think the risk is so much smaller, and we understand, right? There are multiple studios within NDREAMS, and so this is a studio that's been working on this game for the better part of 4 years, which is insane amount of time in the VR space. But honestly, man, like I think everyone would have loved a port of Fracked. I think everyone would have loved a port of. I would have loved a port of the Assembly. I thought that was a really underrated, adventure puzzle game from the early days of PSVR 1. It looked beautiful back in the day. I think a quick little up-res and give us two hands in the game would have been nice, which I think they might have done. I think we actually got that when they patched it for move support. And what about something like Phantom Covert Ops that only came to Quest? Right? I mean, they have this rich back catalog that it doesn't exist on PSVR2, and it would have been far less risky for them to be like, "Hey, we just want to get you guys caught up, and we want to spend a little bit of time and money on bringing the games that we claim to love to probably the most popular VR platform right now." And I think that would have been a really smart move for them instead of bringing Reach over.
Nah. Well, I find it really funny that, like, because I agree with you on all that, by the way, in terms of they should be porting all their games, more studios should be bringing their games over. But it's funny because I just imagine that studios look at like when Naughty Dog do a remaster or, you know, a reversioning of their games, and the internet is screaming, going, why do they just keep, you know, remastering existing games, and why don't they give us new games and stuff like that? And obviously it's not the exact same thing for this. It's about like allowing us to actually play the games, because we don't have backwards compatibility.
Right.
But I always wonder if some of that kind of creeps in, of like, you know, people are going to think we're being lazy if we're just doing ports. But VR, it's a new medium. We want to play the best version of the game, and it really is a significant difference when it comes to obviously going from PSVR to PSVR2. There's no backwards compatibility. There's all these extra features. But it's also, I guess, a question of like, well, as we say, it's like, it should be, well, it's definitely lower lift than making a whole new game.
Yeah. Right. And we know this is Studio Elevation. This is something that they were been working on for a long time. So we're not saying like instead of, right?
Correct.
But I mean, but it does feel like they're kind of putting all their eggs in one basket right now and being like, this is our new big game that we spent years and years and years, you know, and probably a ton of money making. And so if it doesn't pan out for them, then, you know, like we have no idea what their financial situation is like, or you know, there's for a lot of studios, one failure, which I'm not saying Reach is a failure, and I'm not saying that Reach won't sell well. I have no idea. But one failure can ruin a studio, you know? So I just, oh yeah, Shooty Fruity. What the fuck? Yeah, they own that studio. I was going to say,
I was
now.
trying to think of the of Shooty Fruity, and when you didn't mention that, I thought maybe I'm getting confused with a different developer.
Yeah, no, they'd only published that game back in the day, but now they bought that studio, so they own. Yeah, they own the Shooty Fruity guys. So yeah, why don't, you know? And everyone has very, very fond memories of that, right? And I think it would work so much better on PSVR2 with the better tracking, and, you know, just all that multitasking. Like, you really relied on that light tracking with the Move controllers in order to do whatever. But I'm showing the trailer for Phantom Covert Ops, which I really, really enjoyed. I only played the first 2 hours on Quest. I was like, why don't we have that? Why don't we have that? But anyway. Miles,
I'm looking forward to our discussion today about Reach.
Do you want to talk about Reach?
We'll talk about it a bit later.
We can talk about it now. I mean, like, I feel like we're already knee deep into the NDREAMS discussion.
Knee deep.
Yeah,
that's true. That is true.
Let's start shoveling. They did publish Bloody Zombies. That's right. Good one, Looper.
Oh, they did. They did indeed. Well, I'd say to begin with, because I definitely want to hear your thoughts since the review's gone out, thinking about it. I remember you were saying on Wednesday's show you were looking forward to seeing what other people were talking about, like, especially when you're doing a review for a game that you're perhaps not giving it glowing reviews for. You're always like, is it me or is it other people? And it has been interesting seeing the discussion, especially across all the platforms. So,
Miles, you're going to have to fill me in because...
yes.
Because I feel like I have this... I feel like it took so much out of me to play Reach and to edit that review, and then it just felt like I was bracing for impact, and so I didn't do the thing I wanted to do. I didn't go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't go and watch everyone else's videos. I didn't go and check out anyone else's reviews. You know, I know that I've talked to you a little bit here and there. I talked to Jamie a little bit while we were playing, and then I talked to AJ a little bit. But I haven't gotten like real full impressions. I didn't even watch AJ's show last night. So I'm in the dark a little bit for all of this stuff.
I think Reach is going to be a really interesting case. I have very mixed feelings about it. I'll talk about the general consensus I see online.
Sure.
It feels like the Steam VR version has been a complete and utter mess because of, I'm starting to use terms that I don't fully understand, but like the virtual desktop setup that you need for the game hasn't been working for a lot of people. So for a lot of people on Steam, it's just been a non-starter. So I feel like Steam VR has had the worst launch. When it comes to Quest, I believe it works pretty decent, but the further you get into the game, that's when you start running into more and more problems. And PSVR2, I think, has probably been the more solid launch. But saying that, I've had a lot of issues with it.
Interesting.
So here's a few things I want to say. Firstly, was I played Reach at Gamescom 2024, and I was blown away by the vertical slice I played. It was sort of in the main game, the platform jumping, sort of trying to get around in this small space. But for someone who was kind of like just learning these mechanics and doing it, it felt like a great vertical slice. And ever since then, I've just been like, this is one of my most anticipated games because what they're doing is very new in the space of immersion with a lot of things. And then when the trailer came out, I was like, okay, they're showing some new stuff here, which a lot of it is from the opening of the game. And whenever I was asked, like, how hyped am I? Like, yes, it was my most anticipated, but I wasn't getting really hyped up about it. I was like, I'm just going to go and wait and see. I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. Whereas I think people that have, like, the only experience they've had is of the marketing. I kind of feel like the marketing has shot them in the foot a bit. That might be an understatement, is I think for a lot of people, you'll be seeing that, even from the opening of the game, and you're like, this is an action-adventure like Uncharted. The opening to the game is like Uncharted, and it's brilliant. It's fast-paced. There's a lot of moving around. It's a lot of fun, and then it gets to the main part of the game, which is a puzzle platformer in many ways, although the bit I've just played, and I'm not going to go into specifics, I've gone into a bit where there's a bit of a chase sequence again. That's where there's a lot of movement, which is super, super cool. I'm going to throw it back to you, but in terms of like my overall thoughts on the game, and I'm probably like 3 to 4 hours in, I'm having a blast with this game. I honestly am, and I'm still open to seeing how I feel by the end of it. I actually do think that NDREAMS have proven in many ways how they are always pushing the technology forward. There is stuff that is in that game that I think is absolutely phenomenal and brilliant. However, saying all that, it feels unfinished, and it's like they've done so much great stuff. Like the environments look great. The overall design, I know it's not for everyone's style, is great. I love the full body capture. I love the small little things of like the Rubik's Cube you can play with in the opening, the way that you can like make marks on the whiteboard, even though on Reddit someone corrected me and went, that's not how a whiteboard really works. It's immersive, regardless of the accuracy of it. However, I crashed the game in the first 7 minutes when I threw a book on the floor. Whoopsie. I tried to creep through a gap in a gate, and I managed to creep through it. And it looked completely like, I thought that's what you're meant to do. And then I fell through the floor. You're not meant to go there. The audio, I actually don't know what the audio is meant to be throughout the entire game. And it's the worst it's at is when you're in battles with the enemies, where it feels like there's no audio at all. And therefore the combat situations, I find the combat completely, I mean, Wanderer has got a run for its money here. I feel the combat is just, it feels so insignificant. Like, I feel no sense of gravitas of the situation. The enemies feel flimsy and weak and a complete joke. And I think that is to do with the audio in part, but then I don't know, because also the haptics. Like, I was really thinking about it at the end of my Let's Play about when throwing the shield, and like when you receive it, it's really light. And then when I'm opening the doors, there's actually no rumble. So my conclusion is, I feel like that whatever build they've put out there, I just think it's not working. And therefore, I really can't say what the game's meant to be, because when it comes to the audio, the visuals, there's a lot of pop in. There's areas where the textures are really low quality.
Yep.
But when it's done well, it's done really well. And so a part of me wants to step away and wait until it's all fixed, because I actually think that, and this is what breaks my heart about it, it's like, I think that needs to cook in the oven for a few more weeks at least of polish. I understand this whole thing of needing to get the game out, but I feel conflicted because I'm having a great time with this, but it just like, how I don't understand. Like, the audio is absolutely abysmal and inconsistent. There's times where I've pulled the bow and I said I was only going to say one more thing, and now I'm on a roll. I apologize, but it's all coming back to me. The bow and arrow, I'm pulling it back, and then the arrow's not even there. It's invisible. Like, it's not even rendered, the arrow. There's the bits where you've got the I'm not going to spoil many mechanics, but there are like these vines that you're meant to destroy with fire. So I was like, oh, there's some fire there, I'm meant to shoot through it. It wasn't working. And so then my mind went into, oh, these explosive bugs, you're meant to get them, and then it wasn't working. And then later on, it did happen. So there are times where there are things that aren't working. I went into a puzzle room and it wasn't working. I died, and then the puzzle room was working. it just feels like through and through, this is not like, it's not even polished. Like the fundamentals are broken here, which is incredibly depressing when I do think at the core of this is a brilliant, arguably in my mind, well, definitely a top 50, top 25 contender. I'm not saying it would make it to my list, because for me, as a puzzling platformer, I feel like I'm in Prince of Persia and like that kind of thing, and I'm having a blast with it. So yeah, I feel very mixed about it, because I'm like, how the fuck was it released like this? Like, this is not good.
Yeah, it's so interesting hearing you talk about this, because sure, as you're talking about, the arrow's not showing up when you pull the whatever back. What's it called? And
The bow.
The bow. Yeah, is that what it's called? When you I'm trying to say when you knock the arrow.
I have no idea.
When you knock the arrow, right? And I was like, that happened to me a few times. And but then like when it comes to the fire stuff, there was one time where I was like, oh, well, there's fire all the way over there, but the thing I need to burn is over here. Now maybe I just missed like a flame or something I'm supposed to shoot through. And so I was like, well, let me go experiment. And I like walk over and I knock the arrow, and I like just put it into the fire, and it lights on fire. And so I walk over and then I shoot the thing and I was like, wow. I was like, oh, wow. Well, okay. This puzzle mechanic actually works really, really well. And so, so I actually, despite the fact that, yeah, I more than once broke the game. I had one crash and I had 2 invisible walls that kept me from proceeding. These are so minor for me compared to the real issues of the game. That's some people are like, oh, it sounds like if I say some people, I think I saw one comment that said this based on my review. They were like, well, it sounds like if the bugs are fixed, then it's probably an 8 out of 10. And I'm like, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Like if the bugs are fixed, it's a 6.5 out of 10, right? We bump it from a 6 to a 6.5 because those were just so low on my list of issues. And so, I just don't, they were just, and I also want to point out that like, I don't think a 6 out of 10 is a terrible score. I think it's less than people were expecting, and I think most people will look at it and go, well, why would I buy this if Of Lies and Rain is coming out? And so far, that seems like it's going to be super, super polished, right? Or Rush Apex Edition is coming out. So I understand when people are like, well, I'm not interested in a 6 out of 10 game, especially for the $40 price tag. And I get that, right? But I also didn't finish Reach and go, wow, what a terrible fucking game. I finished Reach and said, that was underwhelming. Right. And so I think these discussions need more nuance. I'm so tired of the internet being like, this is the best thing ever. And if it's not the best thing ever, Miles, what is it? This is the worst thing ever.
Right,
and
I'm
like, listen, I want to set expectations for all the people who are buying it. I want to be like, listen, this is not the game you think it is. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing that it's not the game you think it is. However, it's not just the trailers that are deceiving us. It's the opening to the game. Why on earth would you have basically the tutorial? Which let's be honest, Miles. The tutorial never fucking ends. Right? It never ends. It is from beginning to the end of the game. There are signs everywhere, and the voiceovers, and the floating robot companion. Like, bro, really, signs? Like big fucking Comic-Con signs. Like if you're at an event, these are the posters you expect to see, right? That are on stands. I was like, are you kidding? Like it doesn't even look like it belongs in the world. The tutorials are just nonstop, and so it's just so weird to me. And then they give you this high octane, crazy over the top action, which I got to be honest with you, as fun as I thought the opening hour was, I was also like, man. They can't keep up this pace for the whole game, right? It's tiring. It's exhausting. It's also, I'm sure they're spending a lot of money on these helicopters and all these, things crashing through
bottles
walls.
Of red wine.
Bottles of red wine. Those are not cheap, Miles. Those are not $10 package store bottle of wines, right?
They were very good quality.
Where are we? Italy? This shit's expensive. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's probably way cheaper in Italy. And I honestly get tired. Of what they were doing in the opening, right? So even if they had kept up, I can't believe you're ziplining with a bottle of wine. This is fantastic. I'm using your footage.
Are you? Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I actually did the right thing today and brought it into Premiere and chopped out your opening. So we didn't.
My opening, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm carrying it as far as I could. There's actually a bit later in the game where I just see how long I can carry the red wine for.
Yeah,
it's very important.
So listen, I just think that I just think that it's a game that that was probably hard to market because I also think that they don't know what kind of game they were making. You said it feels unfinished. I feel like the game design was unfinished. I feel like they got about a year ago. They still had no idea what kind of game this was, because it just feels like all these different things that are sort of unceremoniously shoved together into one game, when it feels like it's two or three very, very different games, and then I don't think any of it's fleshed out very well. So, but again, like there are, you mentioned.
You're getting to the bit where I go through the gate, by the way, on the footage. I don't know if it's happened because I'm watching on a lag, but it's where I creep through the gate and I
do seem
through
confused.
It. Yeah.
So anyway, So I do think that there's moments of greatness here. As I said in the review, I think there's moments of greatness, but I just think it's such a slog between those things, and I don't think the combat feels great. Like you said, there's all sorts of like little issues here and there when the music cuts out. It just, I think it just reveals how uninteresting the combat really is, right? You should be able to have, you should be able to engage in combat with enemies, and even if there's no music playing, it should still be interesting, right? But they're relying so heavily on that soundtrack that once the soundtrack dies out, you're like, oh, it kind of like reveals itself a little bit. It sort of says, hey, this isn't even as good as you thought it was, and I don't think it was all that great with the music. So,
but it wasn't just the. But I know you're not saying that. The audio issues weren't just the music. It was like there was no sound of impact or like footsteps. These are big things. Like I know these are all individual things, but like for a game that is priding itself on like a new level to immersion, which when I played the demo a year ago, I really felt it. And like to have all those, you're in VR, it's all about your senses, what you feel, what you see, what you hear. That all can transfer, and it can make things that would normally be mundane if you're not into the gameplay still be compelling. So I do like, again, I totally hear what you're saying, and also I think it depends on what kind of game resonates with you in that. I'm curious to see what it's like once that's all sorted. But then again, I've still got to get through the rest of the game. But yeah.
Yeah, it kills me, man, because like I would take a break from the game, let my Sense controllers charge up, and get on Discord, do a little bit of editing, and then I'd be like, man, I'm not having a lot of fun with this, and I'd get back in, and it would be like a chase scene, right, where you're like running through and you're actually utilizing all your parkour skills and running and climbing as fast as you can and dodging enemy fire, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And so part of me thinks that was the game a year ago. And then they were like, cool, it's 3 hours long. How do we make this longer? Right? Because NDREAMS, if NDREAMS has one problem above all else, it's the length of their games. And with Synapse, they said, well, just make them play it 3 fucking times.
I actually spoke to the devs about that after playing the vertical slice. I was like, how long's this game? And obviously they wouldn't say. I was like, guys, so maybe it's my fault because I said, guys, whatever you do, just make sure it's got some replayability to it,
It's just so weird, man. It's so weird. Like, and I feel like they just introduced all these different puzzle mechanics and puzzle rooms, and took this game that again, that I don't think I would have loved, even if it was high octane action the entire time through, and just absolutely put these barriers up where you run into brick walls constantly. Right, you're having fun, you're doing something exciting, and then you just walk into a room and go, oh, what am I supposed to do here? And I actually enjoyed the puzzle rooms, Miles, right? Looking around and being like, I can figure this out. But it was a completely different game. And so I literally would sit down on the couch, recalibrate, and then just start looking around and going, all right, what am I supposed to do here? And it would just, it was like hitting a brick wall every few minutes. And I'm like, man, you guys really knew how to kill the pace of your game. Whereas I think if they were really honest with themselves in introducing puzzle rooms to keep the variety up, there could have been a couple throughout the course of the game where it feels like a relief. You're like, man, okay, I'm so tired of running and shooting and trying to stay alive, and now here we go. Now here's a room where like I can use my brain and give myself a little bit of break from all the craziness. And I think it would have been a nice respite, but instead, it's one after another, and you're like, it just feels so tedious. So I think there's a lot of good stuff in this game, but I don't think it's put together very well. And so I, like I said, I'm trying to manage expectations. I love the fact that when I put my review out, so I saw some comments that were like, I think I'd love this. Right? Sure. Watching Brian's review made me go, oh, I think I'm all about this. And I think that's great. And I can't wait to hear what people think if they played it despite hearing my complaints. Right?
That's what I've always liked about your reviews, Brian, though, is that you come and you put your perspective on the table. And there are times that you'll rate games and I go, oh, I'll like it too. And there's times you don't like games and I'm like, oh, but I might like it. Or you like it and I think, but it's not for me. Like, It's about coming from a perspective. People don't like it when it comes very cold and calculative of like, what's the context of this review? Like, where's this person coming from? Whereas with you, it's clear. Which is why I was really curious to jump into it after seeing your review. Yeah.
Well, sadly, all of my fears from watching the trailers came to fruition. Like, and it was, and strangely, it wasn't about the gameplay, right? The stuff that I didn't like in the trailers had nothing to do with gameplay. It had everything to do with just the setting. And man, boy, did I dislike the setting. What we're showing here, the introduction to the game, again, wildly different than what happens in, an hour in, and wildly different than what you're seeing. This variety doesn't exist anymore. It's all just like this stark geometry. I played the Quest 3 version thankfully the PSVR2 version. I played the first, I think, hour on Quest before they sent PSVR2 review keys over. And I was like, well, thank God we didn't get the Quest version, right? Because wow, like the game already feels pretty cold and lifeless, but on Quest it feels cold and lifeless and frame rate problems right? And it's just like, it just feels bad. It doesn't feel great on Quest at all, in my opinion. So we do have a better version, but it's still like there's nothing here that made me go, why they could have got this thing up running up at 90 native, right? And
the reprojection is really bad at the start. I actually found later, once you're in the main area of the game, it didn't really bother me as much. Mm-hmm. But like the beginning in that main office area, I think it's because you're seeing a lot more text and stuff like that. Like when I was walking to the Rubik's Cube, holy shit, that was like some of the worst reprojection I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But like pop in, there was so much pop in, like walls disappearing and stuff. And again, the reason I bring up that stuff more is just because my issues with the game so far have been because of like I'm literally playing a game that doesn't feel finished. And so it's like I don't even know how to judge this. But I am enjoying like the feeling of it. And it just reminds me of being 5 years old playing Prince of Persia on my dad's PC and stuff.
And just out of curiosity, which Prince of Persia are we talking about? Are we talking about Sands of Time? Are we talking about the
I think it was Sands of Time.
Side-scrolling one?
Oh, no, it was the side-scrolling one. What was the original one called?
I mean, the original game was called Prince of Persia.
Oh, it was just Prince of Persia. Yeah, I'm talking about the original, the 1989 one.
Nice. Yeah, listen, and I have a lot of fondness for that, but I will say, Prince of Persia, as classic as it might be, also has its share of problems, right? And let me tell you that Prince of Persia gets old fast. A lot of us might be nostalgic for it, but I dare you to go back and play it and find out that after level 3, you're just like, are you fucking kidding me? Is this all the game is? Sure. Right? And then let's take that same formula, Miles, and now force people to actually climb, right? And so the exhaustion that comes from mentally getting through all these rooms is now amplified because you're also physically tired from getting through all these rooms.
Okay, I haven't got to credits yet. I'm loving the traversal. It's the only traversal I hate is the whole side swing. That does not work You'll do it and like you barely miss it. Like that stuff's clunky. But I've enjoyed a lot of it. I've loved all the like flinging yourself fully up. I've unlocked an ability that I won't go into that has now added a cool bit. And if that keeps coming at a rate, that'll be good. I don't know. It works for me. I really like it. But
listen, I think the traversal is great. I do. I really do.
I wish Call of the Mountain had it.
I think Call of the Mountain would have been much more fun if it had if it had Reach's climbing mechanics. Yeah. Because you feel
you have momentum in this, right? There's a real sense of momentum when it works.
And Call of the Mountain felt very weighty. I think they were trying to make it a little too realistic, right? And so flinging yourself worked, but you felt very heavy doing so. This is like you're just a superhuman in this game. And so again, I think there are very good things about this, and traversal is one of them. Thank goodness. Otherwise, I'd be like, well, what's left? So, yeah. Listen, man. I'm kind of glad I saw. I feel like I've been drawing lines in the sand when it comes to for games. You know, if I think that, you know, I look at this and I go, okay, well, if this is a 6, and Alien's a 7, and Metro's an 8, right? Roughly. I think it starts. I think you can start looking at my reviews and going, okay, I get it. Brian thinks this is better than this or worse than this or whatever, right? Like you'll be able to compare scores a little bit easier. Which is something I kind of tried to avoid. I was like, every game's unique, every game's different, blah blah blah. But I do think that, oh man, how much did it suck every single time you fell because of the game, and then you have to repeat something, right?
Yeah,
that is
around the corner. Yeah,
that's something I felt like I felt like a lot of times I fell and took damage or whatever, or had to repeat areas. Was so much more frequently about the game than it was about me, like screwing up.
It's what we say. Design 101 is when you fail, you want to. Which is going to seem like a really weird thing to compare this to. My Let's Play today was Harper Gun by Something Random. I'm only briefly going to talk about it, but on the first boss of that game, I was dying a lot, but I wasn't frustrated in this game cheated me. It was like, no, I effed up. It was on me. I'm going to go it again, and you go again and again. Like, that's decent game design. When you're dying, you're like, it's because the wall glitched out, or I was clearly trying to do that momentum and it didn't let me, then it just gets frustrating. And yeah, there was a lot of moments with it in here. Again, this is my frustration with this is for them wanting to be like, we are going to push the boundaries of what immersion is. It's how have they dropped the ball on like the fundamentals? Like what good is having all these like new pushing the thing forward if the fundamentals and the polish isn't there? And so that's why I'm curious to see what it is once it does get patched. And some people are saying this feels similar to Wanderer. I think there are some echoes of it, but I do think Wanderer is overall a much, much stronger game. But I do feel there are similarities in the sense of this is clearly a capable studio. And something isn't here working, and I'm not sure.
So I'm starting to wonder if they're a capable studio. I'm not trying to be just a jerk. I am starting to wonder, because with studios, talent comes and goes, right? People, it all depends on who the people are in charge and who the people are coming up with the game design and the concept for the game, and then following through on those concepts. I would rather play Fracked than this. I thought Fracked was good, and there were parts of Fracked, even though it's a 3-hour game, that felt prolonged just to stretch out the length of the game. They would trap you in a room and just like turn it into a wave shooter, right? And you're just like, well, that was 15-20 minutes, right? And so when there are even moments during a 3-hour game that feel like they stretch things out, you're like, man, that's fucked up. But overall, the game was good, and there was a lot of variety, and you were constantly moving forward and seeing different locations, and the art style was really striking. There's just none of that here. And Synapse, again, they made combat so much fun. They made you feel powerful, right?
They should do a spiritual successor to Synapse. Like, if they don't have the IP rights, they should just do like what, not exactly, because we know how that went, Callisto Protocol was like the studio that did Dead Space. Like, they're like, we're just going to kind of go our own way. It had its own issues with the release. I mean, that's what Frenzies was kind of doing. They're like, we're taking the gunplay from Synapse, obviously without the telekinesis. But yeah, I kind of feel like, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, again, it just felt like NDREAMS was hit after hit after hit for a while. And then Ghostbusters happened. And then this happened. And I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith. So we'll see what happens. For
the record, Brian, for me, this is a 6 out of 10 game in its current form. However, for me, if they fix all the stuff I've mentioned, and not just like they fix it, and I play it, and it has the improvements of the immersion that I think it will, and if I maintain the enjoyment for the rest of the game, there's a lot of caveats, then I could see this being a 7, 8 out of 10 game for me personally. But in its current form, it's oh man, it's disappointing. Despite the fact that right now I'm having a blast playing it. But that's
I can honestly say I never felt like I was having a blast.
Okay.
A couple chase scenes, like I said, the high, when things get exciting, I was like, oh, I felt that excitement. And I was like, oh man, this feels like such a payoff for all the work I put in. But those moments are so few and far between. And that's why it got a 6 and not a 4. You know what I mean? So
fair.
But again, I'm very much looking forward to hearing all the people's opinions when they play it for themselves. And my score has nothing to do with the fact that this was marketed as one game and was actually another. My score has nothing to do with the fact that they kept calling Studio Elevation a AAA team when clearly this is underwhelming and not AAA by any stretch of the imagination. I again famously do not call Metro and Alien and Behemoth or even Saints and Sinners. I do not call those AAA games. People go, well, they're AAA for VR. And I was like, well, let's fucking figure out our terminology here. Okay? Because I think Resident Evil Village is AAA for VR. And I think Gran Turismo 7 is AAA for VR. Right? So let's not rewrite definitions just because it's convenient. So, but again, my score has nothing to do with the fact that this was one. We thought this was going to be one game and ended up being another. I review the games that we got, not the games that we were hoping to get. So, anyway, it sounds like NDREAMS has a lot of work to do. Just getting the game fixed on all platforms. So we wish them luck. We hope for nothing but success for the studio. Just because I don't personally like something doesn't mean like I wish anybody, anything other than success. I hope this finds its audience. We had a lot of tips, Miles. You ready for this?
Sure.
We got Comic Book Guy with the level 2 membership says, evening, everyone. Sorry, I missed the last
Good
two
evening.
live streams, Brian.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, good sir.
Is that Alfred Hitchcock? Why is my brain not working?
It's me when I'm out.
Oh, it's
myself.
you.
Yeah.
I was doing a Miles Dyer impression.
This is just me, like, trying to act a bit more laid back. But when I'm out, I'm like, oh, good evening, everyone. I am Miles Dyer. I am a British gentleman.
Evening, everyone. Sorry I missed the last two live streams, Brian. And another question. Have you heard about them PS6 rumors? Miles, the last thing I knew about PS6 rumors were that they were going to try to do some kind of Switch type thing where you have a handheld.
I've heard that, yeah. The latest is it looks like it's going to be it's going to come out early 2027.
That seems so soon.
It doesn't. That's what I was like. Spring of 2027 is what I saw. Mystic Ryan on his Let's Talk PlayStation today. That is really soon. That is like it's weird. It's weird thinking about that. Like normally, I know when we were waiting for the PS5 and it was like over a year ago. Like, oh man, that's so long. Whereas for this, it's like, whoa, really? Like that is super soon because that basically means we'll get a PlayStation 6 reveal end of next year.
Yeah, listen, we're not even tapping the full power of the PlayStation 5. Definitely not the full power of the PlayStation 5 Pro. I don't know what they're doing, man. Like they're doing pretty good this generation. You know, I mean, as far as hardware is concerned, and they're raking in the money, right? Like, so, do we wish that like more first party stuff it would be announced, and that the flow of first party content was coming a little bit quicker? Yes. But they're doing well this generation. You can't deny that. And it's like, what are we rushing this generation for, right? Switch 2 is not a competitor from a hardware perspective, right? From the power standpoint, from the uh, cutting edge level. What are you doing, bud? What are you doing? Hey, come on. Hey, come on. Stop. Tornado's just desperate to shut down the stream. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, I just seen in the footage that you're playing still. I'm carrying the new bottle of red wine. Trying to get it to... I was doing it all one-handed. I was really sad when I let go of it.
You're nothing if not persistent.
I know.
Anyway, so yeah, I think PlayStation 6, if they're trying to usher that generation in that fast, I think it's a massive mistake. I feel like we could easily get to 2029 on the current hardware, but that's just me wishful thinking, man. I miss generations that are a little bit longer. We didn't have long generations were like 5 years, and then they started stretching out longer and longer, and now they're shrinking again. It feels like.
I just think that the architecture of the next generation consoles is going to be different because it's less about the actual hardware power, but it's more about the sophistication of like AI and that to basically be able, upscaling and all the other stuff. I mean, where AI is going to be by 2027, who knows? But yeah.
We got Waterside Guy with the $20 tip. Thank you so much for your generosity. He says, "Hey guys, happy Friday, cats. What are the top three? What are the top three PSVR to PSVR2 games presently? You can only pick one to go to PSVR2. Astrobot or Resident Evil 7. Okay, hold on a second. I get it. I was confused. He goes #forever GameCat. What are the top three? He's saying most wanted. I think top three most wanted.
So this is what you want. This is what you did on Monday's show.
Yeah, but you weren't here. So,
I know.
So give it to me, baby. Well,
I definitely think the persistence. They did the enhanced edition.
Yeah.
Secondly, Russia Blood. I would love to see Russia Blood. I've told this story ages ago, but I'm just going to tell it now. I was showing one of my parents' friends VR for the first time, and it was when the PS5 was out, and I put them in Rush of Blood. And obviously, there's the glitch on the PS5 version, or when you're playing it on your PS5, where it keeps pausing the game. So I kept telling my parents' friend, no, don't press that. That's the pause button. No, I'm not pressing it. No, I know, sorry, it's cool. Just don't press it. And then the game paused again. No, stop pressing the pause. I'm not. And I think they were getting an inferior complex of like, this game is not fun. Like, he doesn't trust me. I'm not pressing it. And I just kept being like, no, stop pressing. And I felt so bad when I discovered that was actually a bug. So yeah, Rush of Blood. What was the first one I said?
There's no way to find out. I don't know.
Oh my God, you just got to scroll back. The Persistence. Right. Rush of Blood. And then, I mean, it's got to be like Resident Evil 7, hasn't it? Like,
So the second half of Waterside Guy's question was, you can only pick one, Astrobot or Resident Evil 7. So,
sorry.
So yeah, so two. So you're picking Resident Evil 7 between that and Astrobot?
Oh, out of those two, Astrobot. Oh, no, I would choose Astrobot. And it is not just because I'm a chicken, because Astrobot, like, that's still one of the best VR games I've ever played. Yeah. And it still looks good when you play it on PSVR, but just, oh my God, to play it on a PSVR2.
It's a crowd pleaser too. And like the number of, like we get plenty of horror games on PSVR2. We do. We get plenty of them. And it might be my favorite genre, but I'm like, yeah, listen, I want to be selfish and say Resident Evil 7, but I feel like I would make more people happy if like somehow it was my decision to make this happen. You say, well, you can only have one. I'd be like, well, I think more people would enjoy the fact that Astrobot Rescue Mission came to PSVR2 than Resident Evil 7. Although personally, if it's personal, Resident Evil 7 all the way, right? Resident Evil 7 is still my favorite VR game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely take that.
Robinson the Journey.
Yeah. Clearly Immortal Legacy is on my list.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. The funny thing about Monday's show was that before we started the conversation, I was like, yeah, there's a handful. And then midway through the conversation, I was like, this could be a 4-hour show if we just talk about every game we want. And so it is pretty crazy how many great ones there are.
Everybody's Golf.
See, the thing with everybody's golf is that like I want it if they're willing to make it multiplayer, if they're going to add more courses, right? And I'm like, I'm trying to think of straight ports. But you know what? Let's make AJ happy. Let's do Farpoint. That's my number 3. What else we got here? We got Game Cato with the Yeah, I can't read the whole thing. We're gonna move over here. Game Cato with the Australian 10. Thank you for your generosity, sir. Says, I agree with your Reach review 100%, mate. I love the Uncharted opening, and then it just becomes a puzzle game with dumb AI combat. Just want the opening to be turned into a whole game, damn it. Yeah. I don't know if I want the opening to be a whole game. I played Rush of Blood. No, I played not Bout of Blood. What am I trying to think of? Blood and Truth.
Blood and Truth.
Yeah, that was a good balance. I thought Blood and Truth was a really good balance of like that high octane stuff mixed with narrative stuff, blah blah blah. You know, so I don't think a whole game personally of the opening to Reach is what I'm looking for. I think they did a good job with Blood and Truth, showing how you can strike a nice balance and give people a little bit of everything. There was climbing in that too, right? It's like a little bit of everything. And
you could call that guy a wanker when you're in the car and you're going, "You're a wanker, mate."
You could. I couldn't get away with it. People are like, "Where the fuck are you?"
So good.
Where do you think you're from, Brian?
You're a wanker, and it's in slow mo. It was wicked.
Yeah,
I felt just at home.
Ooh. Oh, Unreal Game. My eyes must be going. I thought Unreal Game Cat in the chat said "blood and douche," but I thought he actually wrote blood and Derosine. And I was like, oh man, I missed Derosine. I'd love to get that on PSVR too. Good stuff. We also got Game Cato with 10 without parole gift memberships. Damn, dude.
Wow. Damn. Turn the chat green.
Right? I think Game Cato's given out like 100 without parole gift memberships over the last couple weeks. It's craziness.
They won't let me give memberships. What the fuck?
I don't even know what the hype button is. We were talking about the hype button on Wednesday's show, was it?
It says I can do super chat and super stickers. For some reason, show your support. It won't let me gift memberships. I don't know why. So inconsistent.
Yeah. I think they've got all this stuff in beta, and it's like they just don't know. I guess gift memberships are probably not in beta, but Miles, let's before we get into more tips, let's talk about a couple other things here. And the first one I want to talk about is Puzzling Places, of all things. But they announced
top 10 game for me.
I mean, I gave it a 9 out of 10. What is this? I'm sorry. Did they release their trailer in 720p?
Wow.
What is this? What year is it? This is maddening. This is maddening. Although I will say the trailer looks fucking great. It's called Undead After Party. The only reason I want to cover this, other than the fact that I think it looks like a cool puzzle, is that it's a free puzzle, which is nice.
Is it free? Wow.
Yes, and Miles, they are introducing a new system how to redeem these. You don't just update the game and get it. They're forcing you to be a little bit more proactive about it, right? And so you only have like 2 months, I think, to claim it once it becomes new, or once they release it. So what, you have something?
And then what? And then you have to pay for it.
I don't know. I think so. It says free for a limited time. Claim it before December 16th. And so I think what they've done, what they've realized, is they're like, we're giving so much content away. How can we make it so that this seems like a reason to buy our game? If somebody hears about this new puzzle and goes, "Oh my god, it's just free," and you go, "Well, I'll buy the game in a couple of years when there's a lot more free content." This incentivizes people to buy the game now in order to redeem all the content. I think that's what they're going for here. So I haven't read this article yet, and I want to blast through it real quick, just so we can all learn together how to redeem these puzzles, and so no one misses out on this. I gotta go in after the show and redeem this. They say free for a limited time. Claim it before December 16th. This is our first Halloween puzzle that has to be claimed instead of showing up in your library directly. Over the years, we've loved surprising you with new free puzzles, whether it's cozy Christmas scenes or spooky Halloween houses. Thanks to your support, the number of puzzles in the base game has grown far beyond what we originally launched with. But as the collection has grown, it's also become a little tricky. Seasonal puzzles starting to take up a big part of the base game, and we want to keep Puzzling Place's starter content balanced while still rewarding longtime fans with regular free puzzles. This is why we're rolling out a new system for free puzzles. Every new puzzle pack will be free to claim for the first 2 months after release. If you grab it during that time, it's yours to keep forever, no strings attached. After that window, the puzzle will move into our regular DLC catalog, where new players can still pick it up if they missed the free period. This change means you still get free puzzles on a regular basis. Longtime players are rewarded for following along, building their collection with free puzzles. The base game stays focused and avoids being overloaded with seasonal content, and we can keep experimenting with new events and unique puzzles without worrying about overwhelming the starter collection. This is pretty cool, man. This is pretty cool. I think this is a smart idea, and they didn't say the quiet part out loud. They didn't say, hey, this will motivate more people to buy our game instead of waiting for the base collection to be bigger. Clearly that's part of the reason. And I think when you're giving that much free content away, you've got to utilize it in a way where it benefits your bottom line somehow. And it's not a scummy way to do it. Still giving you free puzzles. Now go buy the game so you can claim the free puzzles. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I think it's a really smart idea. I'm curious to know how it works for them. Just because I'm thinking about stuff we could use it for.
I mean, think of how it could have worked with Beat Saber, right? The OSTs came out, or there was always every so often they would just drop like a couple songs or one song here, right? They easily could have done that with the OSTs as well.
And speaking of Beat Saber, they've just announced that they're going to announce in November the new original soundtrack pack. And all the comments, at least when I saw it on the Instagram post, all the comments are, but it's not coming to PSVR2. Like, that is all the comments are. And I just I love it. I love this community.
Yeah.
Never stop making them remember what they did to us.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It is absolutely
Never
crazy.
Forget.
I have so many questions about that, about what happened. And it's sad. It's sad. It was such a staple in the catalog for so long. And now as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist anymore. Right. Because why am I going to go and try to get good at Beat Saber again when the new DLC is going to come out and I'm just going to go, I can't even play it. So
18th of June will always be a dark day. 18th of June, never forget it.
Is that the day the music died, Don McLean?
18th of June was when they stopped supporting. Unbelievable.
Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee. At the levee. Red Rover, the effing Game Cat with the $5 tip says, this is a hard no. Oh, we're talking about Reach again. This is a hard no. By the way, he's not bringing up old stories. No. People send a lot of tips all at the same time.
Yeah.
So thank you for the tip, by the way. Thank you for your generosity. He says, this is a hard no until they fix it. I don't pay to beta test. Did these guys even really test the game? So many problems makes it not seem so.
Oh, man. My gut feeling is they were like, we just got to do as best we can for this date. Like, we can't move this date. And that saddens me, man.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way. There's times I'll let's play games and I'm like, that was a weird thing to leave in the game or not fix. Like, surely they would have thought about that. Whereas this, it just permeates through the entire game. I'm just like, there's no way they thought that this was finished. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm making me sad.
Okay, well, let's hope the next tip
until someone else tips about it, and then we have to talk about it.
Darth Vader, what's up, Vader? The Game Cat with the $5 tip says, Suki, maybe spooky, I guess. Spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul and seal your fate tonight.
Love it.
He's talking about Fortnite.
Oh, dude, Fortnite, man, is usually when I jump back in, I'm resisting. It's not happening.
Yeah,
it's such a good game, but no.
I want to play. I think I might need to get back into Fortnite. It's been a long time, Miles, since I was good at Fortnite, and even when I was good, I was only okay. So I might go in and do some solos tonight and just kind of get my Fortnite legs back up and running.
Crank some 90s.
Yeah. I watched the
as the kids do.
I watched the Never Sleep Again Nightmare on Elm Street documentary last night. It's old.
Really?
But it's like 5 hours long, and they go through each movie and talk about how how it came to be, and the different directors and the writers and all that. I was talking about this on Wednesday's show, and it, triggered some memories, and I was like, I want to watch that again. The interviews are great. The behind the scenes stuff is great. It is one of my favorite documentaries of all time. And I hadn't seen it in years. So I watched it last night. I got to say, Miles kind of getting me into the Halloween mood a little bit.
Dude, I'm already there, man. It's wicked. Got my apple and cinnamon tea here, which is more Christmassy, but it gets in the cozy Halloweeny season. And I've got almost all spooky Halloween-esque games for the next 2 weeks worth of Let's Plays. So I am not looking forward to that. And with the grand finale being Madison VR, which I am dreading.
Magic the Game Cat with the €5 says, spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder. I'm in surprise when you hear those zombies shriek. What is happening? What is happening? Are people testing my lisp and seeing how much I stutter when I try? Maybe. I think so. I think people are like, it's funny when Brian can't speak. Let's really test that shit. Super Nintendo Chalmers. Oh, by the way, thank you for your generosity, Magic. Super Nintendo Chalmers with the $2 says, this talk makes me excited for Wanderer to be done. Yeah. We're so close.
Oh,
we're so close. I can only imagine that they're getting closer by the day, which is just how things work. Virtual Resistance in the chat says, Brian, quote, I don't have time to play so-and-so game. Can't wait to get back to it. Also, Brian, I watched this 5-hour documentary. Yeah. Yeah. It's true, man. It's true. The number, I say I don't have time to play certain games, and it's because the list of games I want to play is so insanely long. Right? So people are like, how's No Man's Sky coming along? And I was like, bro, I'm playing like 50 games at once here. Like No Man's Sky, requires a little bit more focus than I've got at the moment. But yeah,
you got to play Supermarket CEO Simulator VR.
I did download it. Everybody, Miles convinced me. We were in voice chat. I downloaded it. I bought it. I downloaded it. And
I've been playing it way too much.
I can't wait to not review Zero Caliber because I'm too busy playing Supermarket CEO Simulator. And when that happens, Miles, everyone can blame you.
You got to do a Brian Bites.
Yeah. Right.
Oh
Supermarket CEO will get a full 10-minute Brian review. And then Zero Caliber will come along, right? And I'll be like, I didn't really have time to play. Here's a 2-minute Brian Bite.
I have to say, I've spent way too much playing that game. It's janky and broken AF. And despite that, I've worked out ways to get round the breaking of it. And I think I've got to a part. I'm not even halfway through like all the stuff you can get for your supermarket. The frame rate has gone through the floor. This game is not built to sustain a full-size supermarket. So I am actually going to email the devs, even though I'm pretty sure they're not even a real dev studio and they're not going to reply. But we'll see. It's just a nice game to switch off to. It's like Surviving Mars. Surviving Mars is obviously a much, much better, higher quality game. But it's the whole like inventory management. Just like all I got to think about is slotting all this stuff around and just chill and listen to Gamescast live in the background. That's what I've been up to. Oh, Duck Hunt I played this week, VR. Ugh.
And you loved it?
No, dude, it was unbelievably bad.
Yeah. I mean, it does the thing that it's supposed to do, but wow.
Yep.
Yep.
Good haptics, though.
I don't even know what's happening in the chat anymore. I'm trying to keep up. I can't. Looper, the Underground Gamecast said, I just played Wanderer now. Oh, he says just play Wanderer now. So he's telling you what to do.
Gotcha.
Everybody. Okay? It's not a, hey, I just played it. I want to let everybody know the current state of the game. He's demanding, Sirens, on my end, that you do as he tells you. Okay? This is the kind of person we're talking about here. Right? Do as I say. Oh, there's a lot of sirens. He says just play Wanderer. He goes, the combat is whatever. He goes, but that's not why you're playing it. But why would you play it now? Looper, why would you play it now when you know that combat patch is probably the next big patch it's getting? So why would you play the inferior version when you know the superior version with the combat overhaul is on its way? I don't think there's any reason to rush it. If you haven't played it by now, then why play it? What's the rush to play it? There's so much other stuff happening, Miles. There's so many other good games on the way. Just
if they added the combat from Duck Hunt VR, I think that'd be a step up.
I love that you and I were talking in voice chat, and you're like, I streamed Duck Hunt VR today. I said, yeah, what'd you think of the slow motion bullet time? And then there was just this dead air. You're like, there's slow motion bullet time?
Dude, it was like when I got to the end of, what game was it about smooth turning? And
oh, yeah.
It
was Dreams of Another. Where I stopped into the very last few minutes of your stream, and I was like, "Why is Miles using click turning?" And you just again the Miles pause where you go, "Is there smooth turning?"
Yeah, because there's a voice in my head saying it as a robot voice.
I love it.
There is smooth. What? But to be fair, and maybe I'm just an idiot because it's not as if I play many VR games or anything. But on the menu, it's like, it just says snap turning and like the degrees, and you have to go to the left to get to smooth.
Yeah. Which,
to be honest, I think other games do that, but like it threw me off. I don't. It makes more sense to do. Do you want snap or smooth turning? And for each of them, if it's snap turning, these are the angles. If it's smooth turning, this is the speed. Yeah.
Well, I do feel you though, man, because I bought a Neo Geo collection. The old one of my classic favorite consoles of all time was the Neo Geo. You play arcade games at home. I bought a Neo Geo collection for Switch, and it defaults to, sorry, still sirens over here. It defaults to having like a smoothing filter over everything to keep you from seeing those like hard pixels that I want to see. And so you go into the options to turn that off, and it defaults to 0. And I'm like, this is 0? And then you can go right and like go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can make it smoother and smoother, blurrier and blurrier. But it defaults to 0. If you push left once, then you see that you can turn it off completely. I was like, oh. So I feel you. It took me about 20 minutes to realize when I was playing the Neo Geo collection that I could just turn it off. So yeah, I think game developers need to take classes in UI. What gamers
or
are
just
thinking
just like the basics of like what should be offered on it. I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
Awesome Tatum with the level 3 membership says, happy Friday, let's party hard this weekend. I'm okay with parkour being done for a while. Just saying. Well, how convenient you're done with parkour being done for a while, Tatum, because boy, do we have a surprise for you. There's a new game on the PlayStation Store called SkyLeap.
Yeah, SkyLeap.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to bring it up. I completely forgot to have the link handy, but I'm going to bring it up. That's not it. That's not the button. Is that the button? I don't know. Tornado's freaking me out. She's under the desk, and she's going to step on a power cable or something. Don't worry, you guys. I don't have a shock collar. I would never do that. I love Tornado. Yeah, man. So this is so it's called SkyLeap. The description says SkyLeap is a non-stop VR parkour action game. There we go. Scroll so you guys can see it. Where your only goal is to climb higher and higher. Use jumps, a grappling hook, and telekinesis to float through vertical world built for speed and movement. Run, climb, and fight. Dodge turrets and tricky obstacles. Use your weapons midair. Chain jumps and telekinesis into fluid combos. Keep climbing and push your limits. Only speed, reflexes, and flow of movement will keep you in the race. Upgrades, customization, and an energetic soundtrack. Oh wait, are you ready to make your leap into the sky?
Okay.
This sounds a lot like the original Stride. Right? It doesn't sound much like Stride Fates. It sounds more like
Yes,
the straight up.
it does.
You know, how far can you get? The parkour action, right? Never mind the story. Here's the Sex Pistols. This is, I think, just getting down to brass tacks, delivering the basics. End of story. At least somebody understood what I was talking about when it came to the shot collar. Good to know that.
Unbelievable.
Yep. I wouldn't headline a show with this game, Miles, because so much of me believes or believed when it was first revealed that this is shovelware. Right? It doesn't say much. It just kind of popped up out of nowhere. It has a release window of this year. So again, a game that's it got announced out of the blue, kind of again unceremoniously. And I just like, man, like I was like, maybe this is shovelware. Maybe this isn't anything to talk about or get excited about. And then I noticed that the publisher is Funtech. Does this mean anything to you, Miles?
Funtech Publishing. They have done. I'm having a look now. Man, dude, I'm looking at their website. This is a shovelware website.
Okay, so if you look through the PlayStation Store and you find other games that are published by Funtech, the ones that I found, Miles, are Exocars and Presentiment of Death. Certainly not 10 out of 10 games, right? But no. Games that, Exocars, I think, is good now. So in both of these games are developed by Zocus. So I'm wondering.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, is this a game developed by Zocus? More sirens on my end. And being published by Funtech. I reached out to my only contact at Zocus last night and said, hey, I just found this on the PlayStation Store. It's being published by the same team that seemed to publish your other games. Are you the right person to talk to about this? What is going on? Was this meant to be on the PlayStation Store? And so far, Miles, I've gotten nothing. No response. I reached out to a lot of people yesterday, man. I haven't heard from any of them today. So, fortunately, with the super sleuths we have on in our Discord, we were able to find some images of the game.
A bit of detective work.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with me. So shout out to everybody who makes this kind of stuff happen. And it looks very basic. I understand this, right?
Basic can be good though,
right? And I gotta say, like, honestly, there's something simple about this, and I mean, there's not something simple about this. The art design is very simple. It's very minimalist, and honestly, I like it too. I like it too. Sometimes you just why reinvent the wheel? Why try to go for something super realistic when all it's going to do is maybe have people criticizing your game ultimately because they're like, oh well, they should have done this, they should have done that. Maybe this simplistic look, maybe it's running at 90 frames native, maybe it's running at 120 native, right? Because they're going for speed instead of some crazy realistic art style. They're trying to make it run super high res, super fast frame rates, and honestly, after playing Reach, I'm like, I want something that looks nice and clean like this. And so I'm oddly excited about this, especially since we have not gotten the original Stride on PSVR2. which a game I like much more than Stride Fates. Yep. Watch it be a puzzle game.
It turns out it's a. This is the opening tutorial, and then you go into the main game, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, hopefully I'll hear something from these guys soon, and we can get some more information, maybe a trailer or something like that. But the description sounds good, man. The description sounds like, straight up parkour game with telekinesis. I'm like, all right, cool. Like it might be a $20 game, but I'm just hoping it's fun, man, because I just want some pure fun in my life right now.
Like Spider-Man, but without the spider powers. So you play as Peter Parkour.
Kisna says the privacy policy link on the store page leads to Zocus. So it does sound like, thank you, Kisna. It does sound like it's another game developed by Zocus.
We're a detective agency right here. This is great. We're all here.
Right. Again,
backing away on the keys.
This isn't a studio making the greatest games of all time, but they do make fun games. Presentiment of Death was really fun while it lasted, and then they gave us some more content after all was said and done. And then we were like, hey, we need some smooth turning, and they're like, here's some smooth turning, right? And then they constantly have been updating Exocars. So, small studio that actually listens to gamers. Fuck yeah. We got Ghostface Gamer Cat with the 1337. What's up? Says the cats voted in a couple of bangers for this weekend's multiplayer meetups. Walkabout on Saturday and No Man's Sky on Sunday. Join the Discord for deets. See you there. Oof. I was realizing I wasn't going to get PSVR this week out on time this weekend, and I was like, it's fine. People can wait till Saturday afternoon instead of getting it late night Friday night. But I wasn't considering that it's probably going to be too late for the Sunday multiplayer for some people. To get notified about it. It'll have to do, but that sucks. I like getting those out as early as possible. So thank you, Ghostface Gamercat, for letting us know. Remember, we do 2 multiplayer meetups every weekend now, Saturday and Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Come join the Discord. It'd be Walkabout on Saturday and No Man's Sky on Sunday. The Gamecat Andrew Ehrenreich sends along $1, says nothing. Thanks, bud. GC13, the Diet Pepsi Cat with the $20 says, my top 5 what the hell happened games.
What the hell happened games?
Good Dog, Bad Dog, Fungus in My Garden, Hello Neighbor, Space Explore, and Math World. Reach is not even close to this category.
Math
so
World?
I guess what... Yeah. I mean, did you
like
better than Reading World?
Yeah, Reading World had some weird tracking issues where you were never in the position you want to be. And I just found I learned a lot more about numbers.
Wow.
To be honest. Yeah.
Okay.
Like how you can add them together or like you can multiply them. Pretty cool stuff. Like, I don't know if you've ever done that before, but yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm confused by Tiff's list. What the hell happened games? What happened was that they were made by like one person or 2 people who didn't know how to make games. Hello Neighbor is the standout one in that list, where it's like those people know how to make games. That game should have been much better, right? The rest of them are just like, hey, we made a game. Look at us, and like we've never done this before, and it probably isn't going to turn out great. So I feel like we know what the hell happened with all of those games except for Hello Neighbor. But thank you, Tiff, for your generosity. Comic Book Guy with the 5 quits has been thinking as of late, I really want more heartfelt stories in VR, like Ghost Giant and Before Your Eyes. It's just a random thought, though.
Before Your Eyes, man. So good.
I was actually just thinking about Ghost Giant the other day because of Monday's show, where we talked about all the games that we wanted from PSVR 1 to come over to PSVR 2. And
who were the developers of Ghost Giant?
Zoink Games.
Yeah, it was. You're very good with your developers, Brian. You should do a VR channel. Zoink Games. What else did they do?
Fee and Rising. What the fuck is it called? The couple of flat screen games.
Oh yeah, and it was published by Perp.
Yeah. I forgot about that. And actually, Ghost Giant. I mean, really, it fucking made me cry at the end. And really, because I thought it was going somewhere where it didn't. Thankfully. But yeah, this
So
was
powerful.
So powerful. Beautiful game, beautiful soundtrack. I have the soundtrack on vinyl. It is
nice.
Yeah, same as Golem. I have the Golem. They call it a sequel soundtrack. Right? Just unbelievable music for VR games, right? Games that like so few people are going to appreciate, right? So I do think that like when games like this come along, they deserve to be celebrated. Very, very touching stories, and I agree with you, comic book guy. I think we could use a lot more of that. Connecting to characters is hard, right? Finding characters in VR that you care about is seldom. I feel like I've had issues with the writing in a lot of games recently. I feel like I'm not connecting to the characters like I should, and or like the writers wanted us to. So yeah, when games come along like this, it's important to, shout about them. I wish Ghost Giant was on PSVR too.
Yeah, dude, that'd be a good one.
What was? There was another game on PSVR 1. It's
no
not,
way.
Shut up. It's I don't know. I think about it in the same breath as Ghost Giant.
Oh, no. Well, we'd always compare it to being like Moss, right? But yeah,
yeah. Anyway, I'm sure it'll come to me. Way too late. I'll be like in bed tonight, and I'll be like, I'll just scream it out loud.
I'm going to mention a game that I've actually never played, so what I'm about to say could be completely wrong. The Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets. Was that not a serious? I don't know if that was a serious story or not. Or was it not?
I mean, it depends. It depends. Okay. It was cute. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
That was a fast travel, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. I even interviewed the developer behind that. It was like this little passion side project that they let him do. I thought it was so cute. And we got the game cat Andrew Ehrenreich with another $1 and didn't say anything again. What is happening? Andrew Ehrenreich, you always have so much to say. Thank you for your support. Yeah, not before your eyes.
Dude, it's killing me now. You're saying it because I'm just like, but it's a PSVR game.
I mean, I think so. There's something in my head that I always thought of in the same breath as Ghost Giant, and I don't know what it is, man. Like, it's again another emotional tale. I thought it was kind of cartoony characters again, but I don't know what it is, man. No, not Wayward Sky, not Concrete Genie, not The Lost Bear. Good. I mean, good suggestions along together. No, I'm probably.
Wait, we're playing 4-minute challenge. Okay.
You know what's going to happen.
It's 4-minute challenge, but Brian doesn't know the game he's thinking of.
Yeah, it's gonna. What's going to happen is I'm going to think of it tonight, and it's going to end up being, it's going to end up being like a flat screen game, and be like, well, that's why I couldn't think of it because we were trying to think of.
And Brian's going to do a breaking news video. Breaking news. The game I was thinking of was. That'd be great.
Yeah. And well, I will only do a breaking news video of it if I want to make sure that nobody sees it.
Amazing. Amazing.
All right. Let's wrap this up, Miles. Let's do a little 4-minute challenge and get out of here.
It up. You're choosing the game?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I need the support of the chat.
That's right. Explain it to him. Tell him how this works.
So Brian is going to think of a game, and I and us collectively have to guess what it is. We can ask as many questions as we can in 4 minutes, but the questions have to present him with an opportunity to give just a yes or no answer. And we can only guess the name of the game once, so we have to use that wisely. So everyone in the chat, just make sure you're paying attention. I don't like it when we already know it's not an action game and people keep asking questions about action games. But yeah, we'll just see if we can guess it in 4 minutes. So you got a game, Brian?
I do.
Nice.
Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it presents a good challenge.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh wait, am I meant to start the clock?
On your mark. Get this. Go.
Is it on PSVR, Brian?
No.
So just
Give
on
me going
PS...
easy.
Okay. Is it on other platforms other than PSVR2?
Yes.
Okay, it's on other platforms. Does it have full locomotion?
Yeah.
Full locomotion. Can you play it with other movement options?
No.
Okay, so it's just full locomotion. Is it an educational game?
No.
It's not educational. Is it a good game?
Yep.
Good game. Cool.
Did
it come out
most
this
of
year?
us think that. Did it come out this year? I'm going to have to check on that. It came out.
It wasn't a launch title then.
It was not a launch title. It did not come out this year.
Okay.
My brain's mush.
Is it a well-established studio that made this?
No.
No. Is it in the realms of shovelware?
No, it's a good game. You
Okay,
already
okay.
asked me. Yeah, it's a good game.
But yeah, shovelware can be good.
Oh, it's not Supermarket CEO. No, it's not that.
Okay. All right. Is it a sports game?
No.
Is it an action game?
No.
Are you shooting? But you're not shooting weapons in it.
No.
You're not. Are you shooting anything of any kind? No.
No.
It's not a puzzle game. Not a shooting game. Is it a game where you're collecting items like collectibles?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it look good in the headset?
Yes.
Okay. Does this take place underwater?
Yes.
Cool. And would you say that it's a game where you might, subside?
Would I subside?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest,
I personally wouldn't subside.
No.
If I played the game.
Okay.
But
does it have a shark cage in it?
Yeah.
Is it Subside, Brian? I'm just going to end it there.
Indeed, it is coming out December of last year from HUD Studios.
Wow, it's December. Yeah.
One person making a game that I consider a 9 out of 10. Absolutely beautiful, stunning experience.
I love it.
Where you just fucking swim around and explore. Oh my god, I love this game. I honestly,
I love it as well.
Need this in my veins right now. I wish I kind of had an excuse to go play more of it. I wish I wish this guy would release some paid DLC. Give me a big sunken pirate ship to explore. Give me something. Give me a reason to get back in.
Yeah. The Titanic or something like that. Yeah.
Titanic would be great. Yeah.
But obviously you wouldn't be able to do it unless you had a special suit on or a Xbox controller.
Look at all these pop culture references we're making.
Yeah. Pretty good. No, yeah, dude, I absolutely love this game. The shark cage is absolutely terrifying. It really says a lot about what kind of VR game you are when I show it to people and they're like, oh, I'm swimming out there with a great white shark. I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. Although I really get thalassophobia super bad on the whale level, where because one of the trophies is you got to swim out to a buoy. And as soon as I've told this story before, as soon as I got to the buoy, I had to turn the game off. I didn't want to go to the menu because I was so shit scared of like just that complete body of water. But dude, to get a platinum trophy, you got to complete the entire game, collect everything in under 2 hours. And like, there are people that have done it, and the way they've done it is They literally start the game again and they start mapping out where everything is, and then they'll go again and again until they do it. I can't do that. Huge respect for people that can, though.
Initially, it was 1 hour, right?
Yes, and then he tweaked it. Yep.
Yeah.
Which respect. He was like, he even said, I think, like, I didn't realize trophies were such a big deal. But yeah.
Yeah. No one notices. No one realizes that trophies are such a big deal until they publish a game with trophies, and everyone has something to say about them.
Oh, what was the game this week I played that didn't have a platinum that I thought, surely this should have a platinum? It was...
Retronica.
Yeah, that was it. Retronica. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I actually ended up really enjoying Retronica.
Yeah, same.
I think, do we have a trailer for it? Yeah, I don't know. Is this a trailer for it? This looks like a trailer for it.
Dude, yeah, it's Retronica I've had a lot of fun with, and I will be going back to it, even if it hasn't got a platinum. Like, the levels are short, the leaderboards are cool, and the virtual handlebars work really well. I thought with, like, the fact that you can go vertical as well was going to be an issue, but if you go one-handed with a weapon, you can only go left and right, so that's a way of keeping it steady. So I was actually really, really impressed with it. Lots of stuff to unlock. It's clever because you can go back onto old missions to get currency, but you do have to complete levels to unlock items to buy, so you can't, like, max out your vehicle in the early levels to make the later ones easier. And I love all the design, everything. It's like very Futurama-esque. I just wish it was a bit sharper in the headset, which is, I think, what you said when we last spoke about it.
Yeah, like I've sort of come around. My first impressions of this were like, oh, it could be sharper, and a couple of frame rate stutters. But man, so I'm up to level 40. There's 50 levels. I've played a significant amount of this. My bike is almost maxed out. I'm
nice.
I mean, when I say I'm flying around, like max speed, just like weaving in and out of traffic and going so much faster. I mean, like, 5 times faster than the first levels. So I was worried that wouldn't be the case. And upgraded my gun multiple times, trying out all different sorts of weapons, and upgraded my handling and everything. And I got to say, at a certain point, just a heads up to anybody who's struggling with this at all, I don't know how many people will agree with me, but I think when you get to around the level 35, it's time to change your control scheme. As much as me, Miles, I want everything to be VRAF as often as possible.
Interesting.
I want to turn those handlebars. I want to push them in and out to raise and lower myself, ascend and descend. I do not think that is the way forward once the game starts getting difficult.
Interesting. And that is where you're just using the joystick to go up, down, left and right, yeah?
It's exactly what it is. You're just using the analog stick to go up, down, left, and right, and you can be shooting and doing that. And bro, at one point, they give you this level where they give you the smallest amount of energy, and say, race to the finish line as fast as you can. They only give you like 15 seconds before the first checkpoint or something like that. And it is the level with the most traffic. And the dumbest drivers ever, right? They're just acting so dumb. They're like, it feels like they're purposefully like going into your lane constantly, and you can only hit them like 2 or 3 times before you die because they've given you such a small amount of energy, and there's no energy in the level to refill to fill it up. Man. And so there's this massive difficulty spike, and that's when I switched the control scheme, and it took me about 10 tries because I was still getting used to it, but that was the only way I could do it because. As fun as it is to turn the handlebars and push them in and out, it's way slower, right?
Yes.
You need a fast, you need that faster reaction time that the analog stick gives you in order to survive that. And so, heed my warning: the fact that the earlier you switch your control scheme over to that, the better you'll be when these tougher missions come up.
All right,
I'm at like a mid to high 6 for this. Could be creeping up to a 7. So again, it's just pretty shallow when it comes to it. But man, I've had fun with this. This is probably going to creep up to a 7. Because I did have fun with this. If it had a platinum trophy, that would be so great. It would give me something. Because it really is. You got to grind, man. You got to grind.
That's what I mean.
Upgrades. It feels like a game that should have one.
When I
Ghostface
always
Gamer
talk about
Cat
it-
says better than Reach. Yes, I enjoy my time with this game so much more than Reach, and that is how I score games. Right?
It's really great with the levels, man. Super quick. You're always grinding for something. And I was posting about on Reddit, on the PSVR subreddit, about like, you know, the importance of trophies and that like devs should take in consideration. And so you instantly get pushback going, I don't buy games because of trophies. It's like, no, it's not about that. It's saying that VR is a niche audience. So why do stuff that is very easy to add that is going to just narrow down? Because there are people that look for games that are like, what's a nice, fun game that's got a platinum trophy to go for? I would argue that this is a great platinum trophy game to play. But on the flip side, it is the thing that will make you stick around and grind it. Compound, I really enjoyed, but I stopped playing it after a while. If it had a platinum trophy, I would have grinded much further into that game. You know.
Yep, agreed.
Maybe that's.
I loved Compound, but once the review was done, I stopped playing it because what's my incentive now? And a platinum trophy would have been my incentive.
Yeah,
I think.
There we go.
We got another $1 from GameCat Andrew Ehrenreich. Very interesting way of tipping today, Andrew. Thank you so much. I feel like a stripper is what's happening. Like, here's $1 at a time. Yep. Although it's even worse, Miles. It's 99 cents at a time. So I feel like he's just standing
that's
above us
painful.
with a piggy bank.
Throwing coins.
Thank you. I fucking love you guys. Thank you for all your support. Pietrek F with the 12 plantains says, Brian, are you sad NDREAMS sent you game last time? Sent you? Am I sad that they sent me Reach? Is that what you're saying, Pietrek? No, because I'm so glad I'd have to pay for it. That's the downside. I mean, that's the upside, right? Normally, getting review keys has nothing to do with the price of the game for me. You know, like it would get really, really expensive. You know, I operated on a very, very small budget, non-existent budget to run this channel a lot, and so you know, getting free games is a nice perk. But you know, the point of the review key is getting the game before launch, so I can have review coverage for launch, right? Fully play the game, beat the game. And give you guys, you know, all of my thoughts condensed down. So no, I'm not sad they sent it. Nope. that's all I can say. I'm just happy that I could provide all the information you guys needed in order to make that decision for yourself. You know what I mean? And then we got Waterside Guy with the $5. Says, last minute question. Have you used PSA to grade physical games? Few PSVR games worth a bit and thinking to get them graded. What is PSA? Do you know this or should I Google it?
Well, you know what the grading's about, yeah? Or do you know?
Oh, yeah, for like collectors who like put them in a like a plastic case, and then there's a rating on the top of it, right? Where it's like 9.4, right? And sealed.
Professional sports authenticator, I guess that's what it is. Yeah, so that's the official, because it's for trading cards. But I didn't know they did other items. That's interesting.
Right, and I think WADA was the one that everybody used until like all the scandals and shit. Right? Is that what it was? WADA, WTA. That was the one I think was probably we thought was legit until they turned out to be kind of scammy. This is all just from memory, so please don't quote me on this. Please don't sue me for this.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking at the pricing to get stuff done. Like if your card is worth more than up to $10,000, you have to spend $600 to get it rated.
So my feeling about this, Miles, is that I personally don't care about having things graded, because if you're going to get something graded, it would be really silly to get something graded if it wasn't brand new, right? Like sealed in the box. Right, because that's like pristine. That's as high as you can go with collectors, and so for me, when it came to collecting, I was like, oh, well, I'm a gamer. I also love collecting, but I like to open stuff, right? And so having anything sealed where it's just going to sit on my shelf, that's, you know, it's nice. It looks cool. Like I think it's cooler than having posters or anything else. It's like, hey, this is my collection. This is something I'm proud of. I think it's cool to have, but for me personally, I like to open my games. I like to play my games, and if I do have a collector's edition, they're probably open. They're probably not sealed. And if I do have something sealed, then I'm kind of okay with that just being the extent of it, right? I don't have to go get it graded. But to each his own. I think it's cool that exists. I've seen a lot of people. Yeah, I was really, really into Game Boy Advance collecting for a while, and a lot of you get to a point where it was just hard to find games that weren't graded, right? You could either find a cartridge only or sealed in box that was graded, and it was like you get the $20 version or you get the $300 version. And you're like, ah! It was ridiculous. Yeah, but to each his own. Whatever. That's how I go. Whatever makes you happy is what you should be doing. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out. I'm not feeling great today. I'm just like I just want to sleep. I've had a rough couple days, and I'm really glad that you were in the mood to do this today, Miles, because as always, it can pull you out of your funk. So very happy that we did this, and thank you everybody for being here. Me too. Were you also? I was just going to say likewise. I've been actually burnt out the last 10 days, like really unwell and not good. I literally threw myself in the shower before this to freshen myself up and not look like a complete tramp. I should have done that because I feel like I look terrible, like I'm sweaty and gross. And
oh man, I've been so gross all this week. But like this community is amazing, and doing this show with you, Brian, always makes me feel better. So yeah, massive thanks to everyone for showing up. But anyway, sorry, I'll let you carry on with your usual outro. We're yammering on.
Nope. Same outro as always. Oh shit, I don't have clip of the week prepared. I'm sorry guys. We'll do clip of the week next week again. But thank you to everybody who supports the channel financially, whether it be over on YouTube. Nope, that's not it. Patreon.com/withoutparole or by being a member over here or by tipping during the show. Really just appreciate it. I told you guys we're operating on a really, really thin budget, and money's always secondary. So we're just happy that you're here. Just being part of this community, shooting the shit during the show, helping out during 20 questions, or hanging out on Discord. Remember, come join the Discord. Conversations like this happen 24/7. Click the link in the description below. But even if you are one of those people who sits back, watches the show, doesn't say a goddamn word, we know you're out there. We love you just as much. Happy Friday, Miles.
Happy Friday, Brian. Happy Friday, Gamecats. Catch you next time.
Let's go. Chrome Colossus in the chat says, buy Retronica and challenge my dominance. I gotta say, man, that actually has been part of the fun for me. When I was first playing Retronica, when it first came out, I was obviously one of the first 5 people to be playing it. And so I saw a couple people on the leaderboards. It was like Cussman, right, who we always see on Reddit and in our Discord, right, staple in the PSVR community. And a couple other people. I mean, I think Amiga Guru was one of them. And so there was a couple that were like in there and playing it. And as I kept playing, I saw name like slowly as I was like blasting through the game, I saw fewer and fewer names on the leaderboard, right? Till it was just me and one other person when I got to level 40. And so, and then I went back and started replaying older missions to grind. And I saw everybody who had just picked up the game, right? All sorts of cats, all sorts of names that I recognized, just like flooded the leaderboards. I was like, this is great, right? And then it made me kind of want to replay those again. And as and like Chrome Colossus said, challenge, assert my dominance, and try to get back up to number 1 on the leaderboards. And it's fun, man. It's like just a kind of like this little bonus thing. Roman says, big up Cussman every time. Man, this is the Reddit GOAT. Agreed.
Really, he really is. And he's super supportive in that. Like when he pops in Let's Plays and that, he's always like, oh, really liked what you did, and these are my thoughts. Just like, it's what I love about this community is everyone just like shares their thoughts and that and looks out for each other.
I met Cussman one time in a game. I was playing Black Hole Pool with a couple people and walk into the open lobby. And there he is playing, there's Cusman playing with somebody I didn't recognize. And I was like, Cusman, oh man, the myth, the legend. Oh my God. Right. And I was kind of geeking out a little bit. And he was like, oh, hey.
That's it.
And like I got a message from him later being like, I had no idea who you were. I wasn't looking for any recognition. It was just really funny to be like me. Like, I'm just like fanboying over him, and he was just like, I have no idea who you are. I was like, I'm just gonna go play pool over here with my friends. I love it. All right, you guys, have a great weekend. We love you all. We'll see you real soon. Meow. Oh, I'm gonna go play Wallace and Gromit. I hope it's good.
Have you got it?
Yeah, so do you.
Oh shit! Wicked.